04 of Randy Sampson. Sampson in the 04 will roll off in second. Inside row number 2 will be Scott Roberts. Roberts on the Tony Kart, won yesterday. He's in the number 62. Outside of Roberts will be the number 6 top card of Tim Schutt. Schutt out of Mooresville. On the inside of row number 3 out of Olean, New York will be Kim Carapalati in the number 5. Outside, the number 25 out of Mooresville, Justin Halliday. Inside row 4, Christopher Rock in the number 38, and on the outside, Steve Frank in the 98. Steve Sheaver and Bobby Green in row number 5, and Scott Carapalati will start shotgun on the field. No green, no green. Starter Denny Long says no, and almost some carnage over there in turn 1. So Chuck Tate on the pole, Randy Sampson on the outside. And the green flag is out. Tate gets a big jump on Sampson. So Sampson got a really bad start from the outside of the front row. Wow, heavy contact there in turn 7. I believe that was the Swiss Hutless cart getting into the back of Sampson hard in that corner, and sending Sampson for a ride was the 38 of Christopher Rock. Battle up front, and now another cart off the track on the backstretch. Maybe one of the Carapalatis. And I believe Tim Schutt back there as well with contact and gets back out onto the track, but he's about a half track behind now. It's Chuck Tate out front of Scott Roberts. Couple of Tony carts riding 1-2. Pretty wild opening couple of laps here in Tag Masters, as Chuck Tate looking to pick up a big win here in the event that his RacerSites.com company is title sponsoring. But he has yesterday's winner, Scott Roberts, right behind. Couple of row taxes, 1-2. Steve Sheaver is up to third. Sheaver with the Leopard. has been pretty quiet this weekend and having his best run of the weekend here as he rides third in this Tag Masters main. Kim Carapalati, a nice run for him. He's riding the Leopard as well. He's fourth. And Christopher Rock on the Swiss Hutless is fifth. Chuck Tate just ahead of Scott Roberts with 4 laps down. Your top two riding nose to tail down the backstretch. Roberts with a good run on Tate here into turn number 4, and Roberts will take over the lead from Chuck Tate. So in that bend in the backstretch, not sure if Tate got a little loose or what, but lost some ground, and Roberts came with a full head of steam and shot to the inside into turn 4 to take over the lead for the first time today. This is the first time Chuck Tate has been anywhere but the front of the pack in today's Tag Masters program. Wow, Roberts messes up in turn 11, gets off the track, through the grass, and loses a bunch of ground and the lead in the process as he got really wide off of 11, and Chuck Tate shot back to the inside to retake the lead. So give the lead back to Chuck Tate, and now he's got 6 or 8 tenths of a second on Scott Roberts as they come down the short chute into turn number 8. It is Tate out front of Roberts. And we go back to third and fourth. It's Steve Sheaver and Kim Carapalati. And then the battle shaping up for 5th, 6th, and 7th with Christopher Rock, Justin Halliday, Bobby Green, and Randy Sampson. All right there. Here's Sampson to the inside. Won't be able to make the pass for 7th. As Sampson was strong in the pre-final. Some contact with Christopher Rock earlier in this main event put Sampson back a ways, but now he's challenging once again for a top 5 spot as he rides in 8th, but not far off of 5th place Christopher Rock. Now an inside pass through the S's with Bobby Green going by Justin Halliday. Chuck Tate with a pretty good lead still on Scott Roberts. It's 9 tenths of a second. So that miscue in turn 11 by Roberts may cost him the race, as he's not been able to reclose the gap on Chuck Tate. 2 Rotax-powered Tony karts out front. Whoa, one cart off the track and into the barrier. I believe that's Bobby Green. So a wild Tag Masters race here, as Randy Sampson has caught back up to Christopher Rock, and Sampson will go by Rock. Thought maybe there'd be some payback there for the earlier incident between Rock and Sampson, but Rock slips off of turn number 8, and Sampson just drives on by to go into the top 5. Scott Roberts doing anything he can to close in on Chuck Tate. Had it all crossed up coming down the hill in turn 7. And now he might have a problem on that Rotax as he takes a look down at the engine coming off of 8. Got off real slow and lost more ground on Chuck Tate. So now Tate looks to be in good shape here if he can hit his marks down the stretch. The Racer Site sponsored number 4 Tony card of Chuck Tate. Being told Scott Roberts pointing to his right front as he came down the front stretch. Potential problem on the Tony card of Scott Roberts as he has lost a bunch of ground on Tate. And Roberts clearly off the pace as he still rides in the second spot. He still has a pretty good gap over third place. Roberts going to tough it out here as he comes down the front stretch with his hand in the air. He's got 5 laps left to go. But that's certainly the break that Chuck Tate needed. A close battle there for several laps for the lead. And now Chuck Tate just needs to hit his marks down the stretch, and he should have a pretty easy time of it. Steve Sheaver is still back there in third with Kim Carapalati in fourth. And Randy Sampson is rounding out your top 5 in this Tag Masters main event sponsored by Margay Racing Products. And Carapalati gets way high off of turn number 11, loses a bunch of ground, but looks behind him and doesn't see anybody there. Sampson's about the full length of the front stretch, behind your 4th place runner of Kim Carapalati. Yamaha Sportsman, you're next. Comet Kart Sales, Yamaha Sportsman, you are out next. Perla Senior will follow, and Comet Junior will be your last race of the day. Yamaha Junior, your last race, won by Matt Solarczyk. The 7th place finisher in Yamaha Junior won the set of Bridgestones for Daytona, and 7th place, pending tech of course, would be Emerson Reed. So Emerson Reed in the number 88 finishes 7th and unofficially wins a set of Bridgestones to be picked up at Daytona this December. Off of turn number 11, it'll be 2 laps left to go for Chuck Tate. A veteran in the WKA Man Cup is Tate. Been running the Masters class for several years. And this certainly would be a pretty sweet win if he can pick up the win on the weekend that his RacerSites.com company is sponsoring. Tim Schutt, meanwhile, back there working on Tim Halliday, or Justin Halliday. That's for 6th. Scott Roberts is still out there in 2nd. White flag is out one more time around for Chuck Tate. So a wild Tag Masters race just about complete. Now here's Tim Schutt to the inside of Halliday. Schutt sets him up and takes the position. Got a nice run there, did Schutt, off of turn number 9 and down that short chute. So a few more corners left here for Tate. Going to come down the hill into turns 10 and 11 one last time off of turn 11. And Chuck Tate going to pick up the big win at the Racer Sites Nationals. Fitting that Chuck Tate gets the win on that Tony kart put up the money to sponsor this event, and nice to see your weekend sponsor, Chuck Tate, score the victory. Scott Roberts will take second as he nurses his Tony Kart home. About 11 seconds back was Roberts. Steve Sheaver will be in third. Kim Carapalati fourth. Randy Sampson fifth. Tim Schutt sixth. Justin Halliday seventh. Christopher Rock eighth. Steve Frank ninth. And Bobby Green will round out your top 10. Scott Carapalati pulled off early, will be credited with 11.